The story begins in a usual place you would expect, a year after the events broadcast to the wider galaxy. That is, you people on Twitch. Tiko and Kinzoku are all the original crew that remain on board the Wasati. Well, those two and the clone troopers they rescued. It has become their home. The Jedi holocron Tiko kept was damaged, but now has been hooked up to the ship. Inside was Master Joe Fasal, a boffin of ancient Jedi Master who had some rather radical beliefs within the Jedi Order. He has become the ship's AI, a truly living sentient artificial intelligence, to assist in both training Tiko to become something new yet still remain a Jedi, while keeping the crew sane as a counselor. The Wasati is in need of repairs and parts for a ship, particularly the overtaxed and waning hyperdrive. They arrive upon the planet Locke, a place that pays homage to the Empire in form of taxes and resources. But in fact, it's run by pirates, who have a truce based upon if one breaks the rules of leadership, all of them attack the one breaking the rules. The rule is simple. He who has the most money is the leader. Upon the planet, Tiko and Kinzoku blend in and begin to look for an engineer. They are here to meet an old friend whom has a lead upon the engineer, but will surely want something in return. However, our story doesn't begin with this meeting. Our story begins with a creature from a supposedly extinct race, only found in places of archaeology and eclectically ancient buildings from before the Republic, standing outside the Wasati. Resembling a sentient stoat, Michelina looks on at the ship, a kind of strange feeling from within, the universe pulling her towards it. She approaches, and the clones outside doing maintenance upon the Wasati don't seem to notice her. She makes her way on board and finds the bridge empty. Knuckles, one of the clones, barely missing her by seconds as he makes his way down from the gunner seat and swears. He saw the door close, but attributed it to his imagination. Inside, Michelina looks around, her eyes finally recovered from the carbonite freezing. A hologram appears and tilts its head curiously.
What do we have here? I should be alarmed that a stranger is on board the ship, but I sense something different about you.
Michelina senses that the hologram is not what it appears to be. Some instinct pulls at the back of her mind, within the Force, telling her that this thing is somehow alive, but not. I get the sense about you that you are not what you seem. Apologies for my manners. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Michelina Fairvin. As she speaks, Joe Fasal immediately senses it within the Force. A strange sort of feeling that he has come to understand is destiny.
I get the feeling you are supposed to be here.
He speaks in a slow, measured tone and takes a moment.
Tiko may be unhappy about it, but I believe you should stay, and we talk, don't you?
I'm just as curious as you, but I can't help but notice you have yet to introduce yourself. I had at first thought you may be the ship's AI, but now I am certain you are not an AI. Joe Fasal stroked his holographic beard in contemplation and smiled.
You would be correct.
The two continued to talk for some time about the Force and destiny. They took their time to make things nice and to genuinely come to know one another. Off in a shady bar on the far side of Lock City from the docking pad, the Pirate's Sanctum, Tiko and Kinzoku are looking for an old ally who says they have an engineer that they may be able to acquire. "Hey, Fluffbutt, over here!" Morak calls out. Tiko turns her head to see her ancient friend, a Kafar. If Star Wars had catgirls, this would be them. Though, do not expect the refined city catgirl of an anime, but much more. The feral catgirl of a distant ancient land that is ready to tear your face off. Morak had not worn well with the previous year's events. A new scar adorned her neck, and one of her claws was chipped in a way that seemed like it would never properly heal. Tico only saw her old friend, who was still alive, though a little worse for wear. After exchanging a greeting and hugs between each other, Morak explained this engineer she had found. A Tashar who had been arrested for cheating in the local championships? Apparently, using a hyperdrive to lighten the ship is strictly forbidden, despite it not actually being in the rules of doing so. This engineer did win the race, but was arrested for cheating and turned over to the Empire as a criminal. Despite Tico and Kinzoku's irritations, they could not continue to go with a busted hyperdrive on board their ship. Nor did they have the resources to just get a new one. Or a new ship. This engineer would have to do, assuming they could even get them to come with them. The three arrive back on the ship, and are introduced to Michelina by the Jedi Master Holocron. Tico senses the same thing her master does within this individual, that it is some form of destiny that they found each other. After some discussion, and some batting away of paranoia, an agreement is reached that if Michelina will assist in freeing this engineer, she will have a place on board the Wasati. So they embark towards the Imperial prison, with the usual general plan. Tico will sneak into the vents, and the others will come in through the garbage chute. When she has turned off the furnace and disabled the alarms, they will also leave together through the garbage chute. It will be a very stinky adventure. The Empire, in their arrogance, firmly believes they are untouchable. The prefabricated prison hasn't changed how it is laid out within an entire year. Tico slips into the vents, with the help of Morak lifting her up to them, and gets a connection with a computer spike. Her three companions crawl through the vents into the garbage chute and out into the prison area as it goes into lockdown. Alarms blaring and prisoners coming to their cell doors confused. A Rhodian prisoner calls out, "Guard! Intruders!" and is quickly cut silent as Morak reaches between the cell bars and guts the Rhodian. This year has definitely hardened Morak's heart. Michelina reaches through the bars, barely able to touch the Rhodian, and does what she can, tapping into the force to close the wound enough that the Rhodian will not bleed to death. It is at that moment, while Morak witnesses a miracle, a voice calls from down the hall through the intercom of a stormtrooper helmet. "Freeze!"